Hello, and welcome to our lesson on functions and relations with ordered pairs. Please take a moment to look at the answers to yesterday's independent practice and homework. Be sure to make any corrections. Today, we will determine if a given relation is a function, specifically looking at ordered pairs and tables. You will need paper and pencil. Here's the vocabulary that we will be using for today's lesson. Today, we will again be looking at relations and functions, specifically looking at the domain and range, and we'll also talk about sets of ordered pairs. Just as a reminder, a relation is simply a set of ordered pairs, and they can be written in these three different formats: a set, a table, or a graph. A function is a relation that has all unique x values. Remember, the domain is the set of x values. The range is the set of y values. Remember that in both domain and range, you must list those values in order from least to greatest, and you do not need to write any duplicate values. Please take a moment to look at our 2 instructional videos for today. When you're done, come back to this presentation. We are now ready to look at the independent practice and example problems. Please take a moment to copy down the set of ordered pairs for example 1 and answer the 3 questions. Is this a function? Yes or no? And write down the domain and range. We will look at the solution shortly. Let's look at the solution.
For today, we're identifying whether the relation is a function using ordered pairs. What we're going to do first of all is to identify our domain, which are our x-coordinates, and we have to put them in order from least to greatest. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. We have -2, -1, and then we have 2 whole values of 1 that are repeating each other. We only need to write it one time. When it comes to our range, we'll do the same thing in ascending order. -2, 0, 2, and 3. We have 4 sets of data. We should be able to check behind ourselves to make sure that we have written it correctly. So we should have -2, 0, 2, and 3. When it comes to the question of it being a function, we have to determine if our x-coordinates are repeating itself and giving us different y or output values, which it is. We have 2 values of 1 that are repeating themselves. One gives us a -2 as an output, one gives us a 3 as an output. So this is not a function.
Let's look at example 2. Please take a moment to copy the set of ordered pairs and answer the 3 questions. Is this a function? Yes or no? Write down the domain as well as the range. We will look at the solution shortly. Let's take a moment to look at the solution.
For example number 2, you were given 5 sets of data and asked to do the same thing that you were for example number 1, which is to determine if the relation is a function, identify the domain and the range. Once again, our domain values are our x-coordinates, which we have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. Our range coordinates are our y coordinates, and we'll have to do the same thing. We have 1, 2, 5, 10, 15. Okay. We're also asked to determine if it is a function. We see that none of our x-coordinates are repeating itself, so therefore it is a function. So yes, this example is a function.
Let's look at example 3. Notice the only difference in example 3 is that these points have rational values. Please take a moment to write down the set of ordered pairs, as well as to answer the 3 questions. Is this a function? Yes or no? And list out the domain and range. Let's take a moment to look at the solution.
Okay, and to complete question 3 or example number 3, just to clarify, if you do not put your domain and range in order from least to greatest, that does not matter. Your answer will still be correct. So with that being said, we're going to do that step with example number 3. So the first thing I want you to do is identify your domain, which are all of your x-coordinates. We have 17, 15/4, 15, and 17/4. We're going to do the same thing with our range. 15/4, 17, 17/4, and 15. And to answer the final question, is this a function? Absolutely, it surely is. None of our x-coordinates are repeating themselves or give us any other unique range or y coordinates. So yes, this is a function.
Here are your practice and homework questions. Please make sure to check tomorrow's video so that you can find the solutions. And once you're done with your practice and homework, take a moment to jump on Dreambox and work on one lesson. And this concludes our lesson for today.